Alright, so next step is to take out the clutch pedal assembly, which I've already done here, but I'll go ahead and show you what I've done. There's a sensor here. It just twists out here. Here. You got 4 bolts there. 2 bolts up top. Now, this one was being a little aggravating. I had to cut the line on this one because the clip is rusted in and wouldn't come out. And it's really hard to get to. You usually have to pull a little AC canister and move it out of the way to get to it, but I couldn't break that clip loose, so I went ahead and cut the line. So what we're going to do is remove this clutch pedal, and we're going to reinstall everything. And what we have to do is, once we remove this mash cylinder, we'll have to make a plate to cover these holes. That way you don't get anything inside. And just like that, it's an automatic. So next thing I done is I built this plate out of carbon fiber. I mean, you ain't got to spend a whole lot of time. Basically, this seal is going to go over it, so this is what it's going to look like after it's installed in a car. It's pretty, but nobody ever see it. Alright, I'm going to share a little secret with you. This switch come off the top, the very top of the clutch pedal. This is your cruise control deactivation. So if you happen to push the clutch going down the road, it'll kick the cruise control off. In order for the cruise control to work with the 6R80, you have to have this compressed. So what I normally do is put a zip tie over it, wrap some tape around it to keep it from coming out, because if it comes out, your cruise control won't work. And you know, a lot of people like using their cruise control, some people don't, but I try to give them an option to where they can. Alright, so another thing you got to remember, when you pull the clutch master cylinder out, this hose is going to come off, and if you haven't already lost the fluid level when you pull the manual transmission out, it's gonna drain out. So just find you a rubber cap, slide over it, and get it sealed off. Alright, tying this park neutral safety switch. What I've done is I just cut the 2 wires off the switch, and I hooked them on the relay, which is normally open. I've got a ground connected to the chassis here, so now all I've got to do is run the power wire from the controller over here. If you don't do this, you just tie those together, yeah, it'll crank in every gear. But what I'll also do is, the computer thinks you have the clutch depressed, so whenever you go to set a rev limiter, it'll be the park neutral rev limiter. So, you know, you may run into some issues there, and you'll just be scratching your head and can't figure it out. So that's a tip for you. Alright, so here's what we've done down here. You can buy these, I guess it's like a fuse tap, and you can come off another circuit. What I've done is, what you want to do is find the circuit that doesn't go off when the key is turned on and trying to start. The one that I'm going to use, it was a 5 amp. It's the top there beside that 10, and we're going to install that and see if it'll work.